Hi, everyone. It's Monique Alvarez. Let's make sure this is all working. Let's make sure I can see you and you can hear me. Let's see here. You click on the right button. Okay, it looks like we are live. So today I'm going live to talk about how do you get 30 to 100 people to move towards you every single month? And to be honest, this question came up in last night's mastermind, and we were actually in a 2-hour session, and I noticed these questions and follow-up questions in the chat as I was wrapping up. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a live about this in Network Like the Rich, because this is going to give some insights and help a lot of people. So the first thing I want to say is this, is if you're new to the group, welcome. I'm Monique Alvarez. And my husband and I started our business 16 years ago. We came online about 11 years ago. And I started off brick and mortar, local business, BNI, chamber. I was the offline person. I was the person I could walk into any room, I could meet someone, I could leave with a check. And then I had 2 babies in 12 months and I wanted to travel the world. So we left the US. And so I had to figure out this internet. I had to figure out social media. I had to figure out the online game. And one of the things that I'm seeing as a theme in people who are moving toward me is there's a huge difference between online strategies and offline strategies. And I'm going to break down some of the mystery or where it can get complicated when you have one foot in each world. So we're going to cover a few things. How do you get people to move toward you? What do you do when you don't have people that are responding to your posts, who are not sending you DMs? They're not saying, give me the link. They're not interested in what you've got right now. When you don't have people who've moved towards you that you can invite into next programs. And so you don't have a clear strategy when you come out with something new. You don't have people that you can immediately go put it in front of, because that's where the question started. I was helping someone through this launch, and another person said, what if I don't have that? What if I don't have this? What if I don't have the other thing? This all making sense? Tell me hi, talk back to me, tell me where in the world you are. Tell me if this is where you are in your business. So we're going to cover all of this. We're also going to talk about why right now it's probably hard for people to move towards you and how to change that. I can give you so many examples. In fact, I have a client right now. We changed the words that she was using. And instead of people scrolling by, they're stopping, they're commenting, they're jumping into her programs, they're inquiring about private work. Happened just that fast. Okay. Online, you don't have to wait a long time. Offline's a whole other story. So let's start at the beginning. For those of you who post on social media, but most of your networking and your connections and your relationship building is offline, you're actually an offline person, okay? And this becomes completely clear when, for whatever reason, you leave your community, you leave that local networking group, and you no longer have all these touch points with the people that you had relationships with. When you're fully in the online space, is a different game than when you're sort of dabbling in both. And what I can tell you is this, is that when people are dabbling in both, they will say things like, oh, I just got off the phone with my real estate client, and he's telling me that the way he's continually getting new clients and getting his name out there is he's in conversations all day. He's taking people to breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so you in the online space, that's what you need to do. You need to be in conversations all day. You need to set up, 15 discovery sessions, or you need to have 15 1-hour sessions, this month. That is not, it doesn't translate. I can tell you that. When I was offline, did I take people to breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day? You better believe I did, because that's a good offline strategy. My dad's a realtor. He basically does this all the time. Pop buys, check-ins, lunches, phone calls. It keeps him busy. But there's nuance to this. When I was in the offline space, I didn't take just anyone to breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Number one, I was broke, right? I couldn't just waste this money and blow this money. And time was really important because I needed to use my time wisely. I needed to build my business quickly. I needed to get my feet underneath me. So the people I took to breakfast, lunch, and dinner were people who were already successful, had a circle of influence, and could make connections for me. I did not go meet with people or spend my time with people who were not doing well already, who had no influence, and who had no connections or referrals for me. That would have been a huge waste of my time. So, is conversation and relationship building important? Yes, with certain people, but not with all people. When I see people translate that and try to turn it into what works in the online space, and they're like, just go do a bunch of discovery calls, just open up your calendar and put in a big Facebook group. I'm opening up my calendar so any rando on the internet can take your time, and there's no qualifying, there's no questionnaire, there's no process for people to get an hour of your time for free. When I see that, I'm just like, oh, holy shit. Like, God, no. Because the first people who will raise their hand are people who have all the time in the world, who aren't doing well, they're not busy with clients, who have no circle of influence, and they got nothing to offer you. Guarantee it. Okay? That's going to be the majority. So the first thing that I want to say is this: there's online people and online businesses, and there's offline people and offline businesses. And when you try to shuffle between the two, it gets complicated because the rules are different in these two worlds. They are not the same. Do not think for a second they're the same. They're dramatically different. Strategy is insanely different. All of the things I do in an online business, I never did when I was local in person. So I want to make this really, really clear. And if you have felt any confusion over this, or if you are really good face to face, and then you come online and nobody likes your post and nobody's saying, send me the link, and it's not translating. Yeah, because it's like a different muscle. Yeah. So this is what I'm going to say. First thing you have to do is you have to know which world you're going to operate in, because the strategy and the plan is dramatically different. So don't take what I'm saying and be like, "Oh, well, I'm offline, I'm in person," right? Hi Angelique, hi Nancy. Is it Marcia, or tell me if I'm pronouncing your name right. So just to be totally clear. So if you're going to play the online game, I'm going to lay it out for you. How do you get 30 to 100 people to move towards you every single month? And I'm going to tell you, you do what I'm saying a few times in a row, a few months in a row, these numbers will go up dramatically. Dramatically. You could actually have 100 people move towards you in a day or a week. But you have to follow this like a recipe. There is no one size fits all in business, but there are recipes. Okay, so you leave out the baking soda, no go. You leave out the egg, no go. So there's certain components that have to be in place. Okay, so in the online space, the first thing that you have to know is, do people want my offer? Okay, so tell me, do you have an offer that you're focused on promoting right now? Tell me in the comments, yes or no. Yes, I have an offer. No, I don't have an offer. You have to know if people want your offer. And the way you figure out if they want your offer, you can figure this out in 3 to 4 weeks. Okay, so this is how I determine if people want my offer. I talk about it every single day, 3 times a day for 3 to 4 weeks. If people scroll on by, if they don't comment, if they don't DM me, if they don't buy it, they don't want it. I know it's hard to hear, but that's just the truth. Instead of doing this over the course of 3, 6, 9, 72 months, just figure it out in 3 or 4 weeks. I hate wasting time, and successful people hate wasting time. And I want you to hate wasting time. I want you to figure things out faster, because the slower we figure things out, the more money we lose. Yeah? Is making sense? Okay. Okay, perfect. So you have a few. Awesome. So you have to know if you have a hot shit offer or a resistible offer. Okay, this is how you determine it. If you talk about your offer every other day, sometimes on Tuesdays, when you feel inspired, when the stars are aligned, when your pet psychic said it was your lucky day, if you promote your offer like that, you'll never know if people want it or not. You'll just know you're inconsistent. and your audience knows like she's here, there, and everywhere, right? That might translate into she's flaky, she's inconsistent, she's all over the place. If I handed her money, I don't know if she's going to show up tomorrow, the next week, or the next month or not. Okay. So I should have said this from the beginning. I'm going to give it to you straight. So this idea of I'm going to promote my business when I want to, or I'm going to talk about my offer when I want to, that doesn't work in online business. There is this level of intensity that's required, especially when we're in these phases of figuring things out. So this is the way I do it. And you all watch me. I mean, you literally watch me do this. So I came out with an offer in August, maybe. Yeah, July, August, somewhere around there. And it was a 12-day networking challenge. Some of you have been in this. And I talked about it every single day, way past the point of my own boredom, way past the point where I was like, I was tired of hearing myself talk about it, right? What else could I say about this offer? Like, it's not that hard to get, right? But I did it every single day, 3 times a day. I talked about this offer, a post, a reel, a color block, on my profile, in this group and other people's groups, emailed it out, like all of the ways that I could tell the whole world I've got a 12-day networking challenge. I did it. And then I looked at my results every single week. How many did I sell? At the end of 4 weeks, I had sold, I want to say 53 spots, 60 spots, something like this, right? Between 50 and 60 spots. So then I could determine what this is an offer people want. This is a hot shit offer. This offer will sell like hotcakes. But I came out with another offer and I got the opposite response. So I want to walk you through that. And also, I don't want you to think that any person comes out with offers that work 100% of the time. No. Most offers don't work. And most of the time offers don't work when we are not in communication and we're not observing and giving people exactly what they've said they wanted. So this is what I did. I ran that first one as a live event, the 12-day networking challenge. And then I promoted it again. And then I sold another, 40 spots, right? And faster than I sold the first group. So I put those people together and I said, awesome. You understand how to really network now. You know how to network like the rich. I have shifted your thinking from this like networking takes time and you build it, know, like, and trust and all that stuff, to I've told you how to speak and get what you want every time. Now I'm going to put together a mastermind and I'm going to teach you how to do this with 3, 6, 12 people and create 6-figure collaborations. The problem is I didn't ask any of those people if they were interested in that. I didn't ask them if they believe that was possible for them. I didn't ask them what feels like your next step. What is this inspiring you to do? How are you thinking about what the next thing is? I created it on my own based on what I know, based on what I've done. And this makes sense for anyone else do that? So I threw the mastermind offer out. I talked about it every day, 3 times a day for 3 to 4 weeks. I got 3 people in. And those 3 people only came in because they really like me. And the 4th person is like my best friend. Okay. No one new to me bought that. Now, when I was promoting the 12-day networking challenge, some people I knew, some people I didn't know, some people I have no idea where they came from, right? No one wanted the mastermind. So when I do hot seats or I'm talking to clients or I'm in Rich Mixer and somebody says their thing and I say, nobody wants that. I don't mean what you have isn't valuable in the marketplace. What I'm saying is the way you just presented it, no one wants. So check this out. I took those 4 people through the mastermind. I listened, I observed, I noticed what they could not act on, what felt way too advanced, what felt like such a stretch, what actually wasn't exciting or interesting to them. And I reworked it. Actually, I was going to throw it out. I told Derek, take it out of the funnel. And he said, no, try it one more time. So then I was really paying attention to what people told me, to feedback. And what I was noticing from the group who had went through the 12-day networking challenge, I went back and read every single comment. I went and had some conversations in the DMs, clarifying questions. And then I rolled out the mastermind and I said it like this. Instead of saying this is where I teach you how to create six-figure collaborations, which nobody wanted, I said, in this mastermind, I'm going to show you how to get 30 to 100 people to move towards you every single month. Same title as this live. There's, I've lost track now, I don't know, 30 people in the mastermind. And it happened very quickly. I didn't even have to promote it for 3 or 4 weeks. It sold. And people who bought it referred their friends, their clients, their colleagues, their business besties. It's the same stuff. It's the same thing. We're going to cover the same material. It's the same thing. I just presented it differently. I led them with a different promise. I led them from a different angle, and they wanted it. Huge lesson. So for most of you, what you have right now, maybe the way you're talking about it is the issue, right? So how many of you have promoted one offer for 3 to 4 weeks, all day, every day, like it's the best thing on earth, like you couldn't love it anymore, you lit yourself on fire and you were so excited and wholehearted and all in so that you could identify if the marketplace is a yes or no on your offer? How many of you have done that? And it's okay if you haven't, but we have to do these steps in order. We have to do this in a certain way. So tell me, have you done that? And if you have done that, have you determined if this is a hot shit offer or a resistible offer, right? And this is the way I think about it. For some people, they're going to be excited if they sell 3, 5, or 10 clients, right? It depends on your business model. It depends on your price points. This is maybe the better way to state it is, did that promotion period help you achieve the goals that you want, whether it's your income goals or how many people you want to work with in a month? Did it get you there or not? It was, yes, it felt like I sold out or not even close. This is what you want to know. So you have to be able to determine, am I willing to promote it? Do I love this enough to promote it? Do they want it? Do they buy it? And is it at a number that makes a difference in my income in my business? Yeah, because we have to be honest about that, right? I could throw something out and sell 2 every 14 months, right? It's not going to matter in my business. This isn't supporting me. This isn't worth me hanging on to. And so a lot of the times it's letting certain offers go, even when we thought, oh, this is so good. I know this can help so many people. I know if I walk people through this, it would totally change their life. It doesn't matter. If they don't want it, they don't want it. So let's get to the next thing. The words that you use. Everything I just described about how I talked about the mastermind, how I flipped that. For most people, they don't have the words to talk about their offer. And the best way to fix this, the easiest and fastest way, is to talk to your people and or get your audience to talk back to you. So how many of you post on social media? If you don't post regularly on social media, I'm just going to tell you, it's going to be hard to win this game. Like, you got to do something. You got to run ads. You got to do something else, right? You got to have affiliates. You got to have some other plan. But if you're promoting and you're posting on social media regularly, and you aren't getting people to talk back to you, if they're not interacting on your posts, if they're not jumping into your DMs, then you've got to change the words that you're using. You got to change the posts you're doing. Now, if you watch me, I promote like crazy. I sell every single day. Every single day. I sell every day that I want to make money. That's my rule. I email every day I want to make money. That's how it works, right? If you've ever wondered how you make more money, that's it. That's the big secret. But in between my promotion posts, I ask questions. I post funny things. I get people to interact with me, to move toward me. Yesterday, I asked a question in the group, like, what aspect of you, like, what are you in real life that you don't show online? And it was really interesting to see the answers, right? And here's the other thing where it can get a little tricky dancing between the online and the offline world is if you don't show your personality in the online space, it's going to be so hard to be successful. If you think you're going to show up with your business face and you're buttoned up and all your posts are about the thing that you do, and all of your non-promo posts are still about the thing that you do, that there's not enough magnetism here. There's not enough desire. There's not enough, it's not alluring enough. Yeah. It's like if I tried to go fishing and I'm like, well, I'm not going to put a worm on. I'm not going to put a marshmallow on. I'm not going to put a shiny thing on. I'm not going to put I'm not going to put anything on. I'm just going to have a piece of string. I'm going to throw it in the river. And if a fish wants to bite, it'll bite. This is how most people are doing business online. So the first thing is if people are not commenting on your post, if they're not interacting with you and they're not engaging with you, change your content, mix it up, and show your personality. If most of the things that you're posting are serious and deep, you got to balance it out with the other side. You've got, I mean, show your sense of humor, show a lightness, laugh at yourself, right? If most of your stuff is like some of you have boring businesses, right? Let's be honest. There's boring businesses. There's less sexy businesses. I see this all the time. Well, I wish I had an offer that was as sexy as make $10,000 this month. Honey, it's your job to make whatever your business is sexy and fun. And this is what we're going to get into. This is part of getting the people to move toward you. So when I look at people and they're like, I'm going to show you how to be on a budget. I'm going to show you how to fix your systems, or let's get you a spreadsheet and a CRM and all this nonsense, right? All the non-sexy stuff, like that nobody's like, oh yeah, pick me. It's about how you angle it, right? So if you're like, we're going to do deep, heavy work and we're going to fix your mother issues and your father issues, and we're going to fix your money wounds and your subconscious and your nervous system and blah, blah, blah. If you pause and you take yourself through this exercise of like, what is the sexy thing that happens as a result of having organization and structure and systems in someone's business that they can't experience without those? What is that sexy thing that they can't experience without all your systems? What's the thing that people want that they can really only experience once they deal with all of the money stuff that they just took from their parents and ran with? So a lot of times people love to talk about the least interesting parts of their business instead of the most interesting parts. This is your job. You have to think about, what does this lead to that I know they want? That's as sexy as, be hot in your swimsuit this summer. Find the love of your life. It's your job to find this. So the way that you can begin to break this down, first of all, you have to get out of your own head and out of your own business. And you almost have to pull yourself out and look at it from a different angle. Because when we do what we do, like, we think it's interesting, we're passionate about it. To be honest, most people are not excited about business networking. It's dry, it's boring, it's excruciating, it's small talk, it's connecting with a lot of the wrong people before you connect with the right people. But I found a way to make it fun and sexy because I focused on what people want, what they're actually hoping and praying will happen when they force themselves to show up to a networking event, whether it's online or off. So how do you get people to move towards you? Most people are not going to say yes to your bigger kitchen sink offer, your most expensive thing right off the bat. Most of them are not going to respond to that off of a post. Okay. But if you look at the work that you do and you begin to notice different steps and slivers and aspects, I want to give you a real world example. Yes, Barbara, exactly. You were hesitant to show vulnerability, non-glamorous posts. Yeah, but I'm telling you, right? This is why people fall in love. It's like oh, she's pulling the curtain back. She's letting us see something, right? She's real. What's the sexy thing they can experience? Yes, when they deal with all the shitty things. Thank you. That's it exactly. So I'm gonna give you an actual example. Some of you have my Google Doc with all of my offers, but I'm gonna pull this out because I want to show you how I've taken what I have and what I know and I've slivered it up. Now, I'm going to tell you from my perspective, it's ridiculous. And from your perspective on your business, it's going to be ridiculous. Because in my mind, I've been networking since the day I was born. I'm a life path 3. That's what I do. When I lived overseas in my 20s, what do you think I did? How did I end up at all the embassy events and parties? How was I having dinner with ambassadors and the prime minister? I networked. I built relationships. I asked for connections. I do this naturally. How did I harness my communication skills? I talked every day of my life. My name was on the chalkboard every day at school. Every single parent teacher conference. Monique thinks this is her classroom. She thinks she's the teacher. She thinks she's the star of the show. So for me, when I look at these offers, I'm like, doesn't everybody know this? This is ridiculous. So stay with me. Think about your own business and the ridiculousness of it, and you'll be spot on for your buyers. Okay, so I have, God, how many things are in here? 39 offers here, okay, on my spreadsheet now. And this sounds crazy, but I'm going to tell you, 6 months ago, 7 months ago, I had one little offer, the 12-day networking challenge, and the mastermind nobody wanted. So, because once you get this, you can't unsee it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you get it, you're going to be on such a roll, okay? And you can do this however you want. You don't have to do this any one way. You don't have to have complex funnels, but take the gist of what I'm about to say, because this is going to change dramatically the number of people who move towards you. Okay, so then the next thing I did is I created a rich mixer. I like, I taught them how to network. Maybe I should create a networking event they can actually practice this in, because they can't necessarily practice this in anyone's networking event, because some networking events are shit. Some people don't know how to lead a networking event. Some people don't know how to facilitate this, right? So I created that. Now, I want I'm going to totally pull the curtain back and show you my mindset and the strategy for Rich Mixer. Rich Mixer, I want to say it started in August or September, and we started at $9 a month. Okay. Now I want you to think about how many years of experience you have, all of the money you've invested in yourself, everything that you know, and the value that you bring to the table. I want you to hold all of that. Okay. And I want you to ask yourself this: would you ever be willing to create a membership that was $9 a month, where people had access to you and could interact with you and ask questions and practice the thing that you've absolutely mastered? Would you ever consider offering that in a $9 a month membership? So for me, I'd rather not, right? So when we started Rich Mixer, Derek and I had many conversations about it, right? Because I had some issues with it, right? And this is what Derek said: Monique, here's what I want you to know. If you network with people 4 times a month and they are on video with you and they're interacting with you, there's not any chance in hell that they won't buy something else from you. I know this. I've watched how this works. This is your track record. But if people if we just gave them a PDF and tried to teach them what you do in Rich Mixer in real time, it won't translate. They actually need a little bit of time with you. So do the $9 a month, suck it up, buttercup, drop the ego, and create it. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And he's like, and you'll have so much fun anyway, right? Because you get to play with the puppies, you get to interact, you get to network, you're going to be sending referrals, you're going to get referrals. He's like, that alone, right? So I said, okay, $9 a month. So we roll it out at $9 a month. And then I did a $12 event, December 30th. Okay, got over 100 people in. So now we have about, I don't know, 75, 78 members of Rich Mixer. Now the price has been inching up over this time, right? Because if you don't do that, then there's no good reason for people to say yes now. They'll just do it later because there's no reason why they can't. The point is this little thing that started off at $9 a month, it went from like, I mean, for a month or two, we might have had 9 members at $9 a month. I'm making $81. Is this right? Check my math. $81 a month to teach my 45 years of networking experience. Just kidding. We'll say 16, 18 years of networking experience. For most people, they'd be insulted by that. They would drop it. But I kept going. I kept building and growing that membership. I kept listening to what they wanted. I kept connecting. Not only did the members of Rich Mixer buy again and again and again, they referred. And now Rich Mixer is it's for real. It's its own for real offer. But that's how it started out. Then we decided to, what was the other one? Oh, check this out. How to introduce yourself at networking events. Now, I used to think everyone knows how to introduce themselves at networking events, but they don't. Most people do this. See if this sounds familiar. Hi, I'm Monique Alvarez, the founder of Network Like the Rich, where I've created the 12-day networking challenge. And I show people how networking can grow their business to the next level. They say their name, their business name, their product name, their service name. And they say some vague thing like, I'm going to show you how to use networking to take your business to the next level. None of that means anything to anyone. So I did enough Rich Mixers to go, you know what? People don't know how to introduce themselves. So Derek, we're going to create, let's see how much it is. We're going to create a little PDF, then we're going to sell it for $17, how to introduce yourself at networking events. And we're going to show people how to actually do it. So the people who are looking at them give a shit and don't start thinking about their clothes that are in the dryer and, oh my God, what are we going to make for lunch, and tune them out. Okay. Then we did something just a step up from that. It's called the Conversation Vault. The Conversation Vault is another PDF, $39. The Conversation Vault breaks down how to have a conversation post networking event. I figured everyone and their mother knew how to do this. Turns out they do not. Turns out people would leave the networking event and they'd be like, hey, Lisa, can I have an hour of your time to pick your brain? Don't be that person, right? So I create a PDF where literally they know the questions, they know how to lead a conversation. So referrals happen both directions. And there's a real connection and a bond that can be built on. Now, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, do you think you'll ever create that? I'd be like, yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Like, I don't want to work with people at that level. Right? I know how to create 6-figure collaborations. I've done it over and over and over. Why on earth am I going to teach people how to say their name or introduce themselves at a networking event? How to lead a conversation post networking? Like, I'd rather not. But this is what I learned as I listened and I observed and I just started slicing and chunking things down. Now, these two things, I probably should have looked at this in a preparation for this call, but the number of how to introduce yourself at networking events and the Conversation Vault that have been sold would blow your mind. How many people have sent me a message and said, I so appreciate that. I just never really knew how to do that. And so I just modeled other people who didn't really know how to do it either. And no wonder I wasn't getting good results. No wonder people were avoiding me during meetings, after meetings, before calls, after calls. No wonder nothing was happening, because everything you said not to do, I was doing. Because most people don't know how to network. They just show up to networking events and hope for the best. Then we went into, we created the mastermind. And then we also created um, rich positioning because most people are putting their offer in front of the worst buyers. People who don't have the money, first of all, like that's 100% failure rate. Let me put my offer in front of people who don't have the money to buy it, who are not already on the path, who are not already doing multiple things to get the thing that I help them get, right? Rich positioning is one of our best selling offers. Then I created the client a day because I realized people don't know how to speak on the internet to talk to their ideal client. They're saying things like, you're ready for more. Let me help you step into your power. Um, Live your best life. Let's, what's the word? Let's calibrate your nervous system, right? They're saying things like, let's deal with your money leaks and your subconscious beliefs. It doesn't work. So we literally created so many, we have the client a day course and we have the client a day club where people can get prompts every single day of what to say on social media. I want to just talk about this client a day club for a second. There's a lady who came into the client a day club and she literally looked at every single prompt I did. I'm in there every single Monday through Thursday, and Fridays we usually audit content. And I'm giving like a prompt or an idea for a post that will bring buyers. Yeah, not lurkers, not freebie seekers. She started doing this and she said, like, nobody was moving toward me. And then people started moving toward me. People started commenting. They wanted my this, that, and the other. We workshop that in real time. So if you don't have little ways, specific ways, if you can't help people get one win today, you don't have an offer that addresses that, right? Because you're committed to the deep work and the big work, and you work with clients who are yada, yada, and yoda, yoda. These little wins, these specific wins, are how you get people to move towards you in bigger numbers. As of yesterday, I want to say we had 56, 58 sales that had come in, right, in February. Or was that that was in the last 4 days? That was in the last 4 because I did a launch. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. In 5 days, 56 payment notifications came in. The reason I had people, when I came out with this power moves, the reason I had people to put it in front of is because I was willing to put people in a membership for $9 a month and grow it. The reason I had people to put it in front of is because I had people who had bought how to introduce yourself at networking events, how to get clients from social media, how to have a conversation. They had bought all that so that I could put it in front of them. Most of the time when people come out with a new offer, they have no idea how to fill it. It feels like a mystery. And they're just posting on social media. And while that's an important step, it's not the only step. There has to be a group of people. When I come out with something, I don't just come out with something. I come out with something knowing I'm going to put it in front of these 25, 50, 300 people. I'm going to post on social media. I'm going to personally invite them. I'm going to send out an email. I'm going to, give my already current clients some incentive or bonus for joining. It's so incredibly strategic. There's layers and steps. I don't throw out an offer and just hope. I have the specific people in mind that I'm going to put it in front of. This is how it's done, right? What most people are not willing to do online is have a $17 PDF or a $9 a month membership. Some of you might know this. I just went blank on her name. There's an ads lady. You all might know her. What's her name? Lori or she's extremely good at ads. I'm not in her community. Yeah, I think it's Laurel. So Laurel is extremely good at Facebook ads. And Laurel is a freaking marketing genius. You know what Laurel did? She's super good at what she does, but she started a $7 a month membership. You could join her membership for $7 a month. And she literally did live calls every single week talking about ads. You could ask any questions. I mean, it was high access, if you ask me, for $7 a month, right? She has, I think she adds like 1,000 people a month to this membership. Okay. Laurel's no dummy. Every time she comes out with something, she puts it in front of those people who are in her $7 a month membership, and it sells out within hours. She came out with this thing where you're going to come to her house and she's going to help you build out your entire ads funnel. And, I mean, honestly, she could have charged any dollar she wanted. I don't even remember what it was. Maybe it was $7,000, $8,000. Sold out the same day she announced it because she put it in front of all her $7 a month people. Most people on the internet right now, they're not talking consistently enough and clearly enough about what they have. They don't know if their offer is what people want. And most people are saying things to me like, well, I know what my work is worth. It doesn't matter, Beck. It doesn't matter what your work is worth. What matters is if you can get 30 to 100 people every month to move toward you, that you can continue to nurture and sell and help along the way so that they can ultimately reach their biggest goals. And you can help them solve their biggest problems and create the biggest opportunities. And if we are too caught up in our own ego and all of our years of experience to create these ways for people to easily move toward us and then be smart and strategic about what we give them next, the online world is going to feel impossible. Impossible. Is making sense? Any questions about what I've said? I've covered a lot of ground here. This is what it looks like. This is what it takes. We can't take people from zero to right $30,000 offer. Like have I had bank transfers for 30,000 plus? Yes. Off of a social media post? Not usually. Usually it was a referral. Usually they were in my little thingamajigger. They had spent $1,000 with me. Or the person who had spent $1,000 with me referred them over. Most people, their biggest problem is they don't have enough people moving toward them. I can guarantee you if you had 30 to 100 people moving toward you every single month, your bank account would be dramatically different and your confidence level would be dramatically different. The problem is there's not these simple, easy wins, chiseled down, broke down, that people can go, yes, I'll take that. I can read it, I can go do it, and I can feel like I got a win. And then I want to come back and go, what else you got? You helped me win. You helped me feel good. I want it again. Okay, there you go, Lex. So do you always start a new offer at a low price and grow it? This is a great question. Yes, the answer is yes. Okay. There's a real psychology behind pricing. Pricing is a whole PhD in itself. Yeah. Yes. Low ticket offers will bring you one-on-one clients fast. And I want to make something perfectly clear because there's a lot of people who will talk shit about low ticket offers. Okay. I know for a fact because online isn't that different than my little hometown. It's actually a small world. So I know for a fact there's a woman right now. She sells very high ticket. Okay. Like the smallest amount you can spend with her is $10,000. And in her content, she'll say low ticket is shit. But if you click on her profile like I do, because I could be a private investigator, the FBI could hire me. She's running ads to a $27 offer. And when people buy the $27 offer and they have this aha, then of course they buy her $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 offer. However, free does not upgrade. You can give freebies all day. You can do 3 free day events. You can do free all day. There's a dramatically lower number of those people who will that will graduate, that will buy. Buyers are buyers. Freebies, they might be buyers. 1 in a million might be a buyer. That's my experience, right? Okay, so let's go back to Lex. Sorry, Lex, did I lose you? That's the way my brain works. So when I have a new offer, do I start at a low price? Yes. So I'm going to walk you through this for a second. Okay. How many of you have ever worked in a restaurant or worked for tips in a coffee shop or something? Okay. So, um, my very first job was at Nero's Italian restaurant. I was a bus girl. And there was this little step that we did in prep before we turned the open sign on. The owner would say, Monique, seed the tip jar. Now, this was like the kind of restaurant where people were going to leave the tip at their individual waitress, but at the front, there was also this glass tip jar. Okay. And if you pay attention, many businesses that are service-based and tip-based, they will have a jar of some sort. Even if you write the tip on your credit card and your little piece of paper, you punch it in a screen, there's still a visible tip jar. Okay. And what was her name? Debbie. What Debbie taught me is this, is that if you want people to tip, you have to put it in their mind from the beginning. So that tip jar was like at the front of the building, right? And if you have an empty tip jar, what it signals to other people is no one else is tipping. So maybe you don't have to. Maybe I shouldn't. Why should I be the first, right? So every single shift that I worked, there was this drawer. It was a handful of crumpled up bills and coins, and we'd put it in the tip jar. We'd seed the tip jar. And when there's money and coins in the tip jar, that tip jar grows. Even when people tipped in other ways, they would like just drop money in this jar as they're walking out. Fascinating how people are trained and what all of the psychology behind behavior. Yeah. So Derek and I use this in our business. When we have conversations and we're talking about offers, we say, how are we going to seed the tip jar? This is a step in our process. And then what's the pricing psychology that we're using? Okay. Now, the problem with many of the people who are the best at what they do, they're not that good at business. They have no clue about pricing psychology. They're not seeding the tip jar. They have very little strategy. How many of you, when you're on social media, you see all these people, I'm just so good at what I do. I don't understand why I don't have more clients. Because you got to learn business. You got to learn marketing. You got to learn sales. You got to learn pricing. There's skill sets you got to learn. You can be good at what you do, and it doesn't matter if you're not good at all the other things. So when we come out with an offer, this is how we do it. And this is where most people get it wrong, because some people are willing to start at a lower price and graduate it, but they do it incorrectly. So I'm really giving you good stuff here today. Oh my God. Okay, so I honestly so rarely talk about pricing psychology, but this is it. Most people will say, I'm going to do this price until this day. The problem with that is that it doesn't give them a certain number of sales. So I don't believe in doing pricing just for like the first week or for the first 2 weeks. But most people I work with, I can't get them to do the low pricing for very long because they're in this tug of war with their ego. I know it's worth more than that. We all know that. This is a game. Are you playing the game to win, or are you playing the game to prove you're right? Right? This is true in so many things. Do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Because you got to pick on this case. So the way Derek and I do it is we raise the price after a certain number of people have joined. So we kept it at $9 for a long time, actually, because it was slow to grow. To be honest, it was, right? But Derek kept saying, this is going to ultimately be a pillar. There is this group of people who think networking should be free. And there's these groups of people who are like, I'm already doing a lot of networking. I don't know if I want to join another one. So I had to get my wording right. So what I did is I did Rich Mixer. I can't remember what number. And it went from $9 to $21 after we hit a certain number. And because I put dates on my post, most people think it's the date. It's not the date. It's because I can see in the back end, I check my numbers. I track my numbers every single day, if not multiple times a day. I can see how many people have joined. Lex, you actually happen to be number 75 in Rich Mixer, and then the price went up. The price went up after you because we knew in our mind we're going to take it up at 75. We're going to take it up again at 100. We'll take it up again at 150 and then at 200. Okay. And then we'll cap Rich Mixer at 200. When I rolled out with Power Moves, similar thing. Okay. So people who were in the mastermind, people who were in Rich Mixer, people who were in our last book, they got first invitation to Power Moves, $4.99. Now, Power Moves as of midnight last night went to 777 instead of 500. But it wasn't a day, it was a number. So I had said I'd give 21 people that pricing. Well, since 21 people bought so fast, I gave, and it was over the weekend, I gave until Tuesday midnight to get that price, just in case they don't crack open their email on the weekend like I don't. But it was a number. Because here's the thing, the reason I use the number of units sold to increase the price is because number one, I'm seeding the jar. When I say, well, 23 people bought Power Moves, selling it at 777 is not going to be hard because 23 people are already in. 77 people aren't going, I wonder if it's any good. I wonder if anyone else is going to do it. Am I the only idiot who buys from her? There's people in the restaurant. There's money in the tip jar. Here's the other thing that I do. And the reason I use numbers is whatever number I sell in that time, I ask those people to help me bring in more people. Everyone who's in Power Moves, you're going to see this play out in real time. Power Moves is actually a masterclass on a six-figure collaboration. It's a masterclass on partnerships, on relationships and referrals. So I'm going to roll this whole process out where every person who bought Power Moves in that first window is going to help me double the number that is in Power Moves by either giving me one referral, one introduction, posting on social media, interviewing me in their group, emailing their list. But if I don't have a number to build on, then what? I offered the good pricing for 72 hours and they didn't move. So that's it. Because I know it's worth more. I have no people to work with. I can take 2 or 3 people and double it and it won't really matter. I want the bigger chunks. Yeah. I like to give people who move fast and who move first the best deal because this is what I'm going to tell you. This is the part B. I train my audience on how I want them to behave. People don't behave however they want in my world, and people shouldn't behave any way they want in your world. And if you have that, you're probably going to hate your business. Okay. Most people are training their audience to wait, to scroll, to think about it, to hem and haw. Most people's audiences, email lists, and clients have them by the nose. So in my world, I train my audience to move quickly, to make a decision, get in or out. There's no thinking about it. There's no later, get in or get out. And if you get in early and if you get in fast, I'm going to give you the best pricing. And many of the people who come in first, they get lots of other perks. Mastermind, they get tons of perks. The other thing that I do is this, is I want to punish slow decision makers. I want there to be consequences for people who are overthinkers because I don't like working with overthinkers. I like working with action takers. It's not about somebody doesn't have the money and they should find the money. No. If somebody doesn't have the money, cool. This is about show me who you are, how you behave, how you move in business and how you move in life. And I reward certain people and I create consequences for other people. If your audience knows they can get in your program now or in 6 months and nothing is different, I'm going to tell you something. They're going to wait 6 months. It's human nature. Later is always better. Later is always easier. Later, they have more free time, more money, somehow, some way, right? This magical world of later, everything is easier. So that is why I do pricing stair steps. And I have other people talking about my program in addition to me. So then as the price goes up, it's not harder to sell. First of all, everything sells at any price point at the same degree of ease. I've already tested it. But when I have more people talking about it than just myself, then that momentum and that wave can roll. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm glad you're liking it. Right or rich. Yeah. Just choose rich. Trust me. Okay. No mating. Oh, no mating. No waiting. Yes, Louise is in the mastermind. I'm so glad you're in there, Louise. Okay. So this is, this is going to help solve a lot of mysteries, I think. Yeah. Your words can't be words that most people don't understand. Your content can't be difficult for people to wrap their arms and their brains around. Your offers have to be what they want right now. If you're trying to give people what they need and you don't care about what they want, you've got it backwards. Give them what they want, get them in the door with what they want, and then give them what they need. There's many people who came on into the mastermind and I know what they want. I also know what they need, but I'm not a dumb bunny. I ain't going to talk about what they need. I'm going to give them what they want. And then I will reveal to them, hey, this is also going to help you. Tell me your number one takeaway, and I'm going to jump off of here. I actually have a private client who's in town, so I'm going to go have a little pop by, check in face to face. But if you'll tell me in the comments one takeaway, one thing that you're walking away with, one word, one phrase, one aha to anchor this. Okay. Yeah, now I need to figure out how to redo pricing that I had already set, but I'm sold on seating. Okay, excellent, excellent. This is what I'm going to tell you. Initially, it can look ridiculous. Yeah, on the pricing. Initially, it can look ridiculous. Initially, people can be like, that doesn't make any sense, right? But the way it compounds and the way it rolls is incredible. Okay. Price seating psychology. Yep. Can't wait for our call tomorrow. Oh my gosh, Barbara and I got a private call tomorrow. We're looking forward to it. Okay, right or rich? Yeah. Let me tell you, just give up the ego, give up knowing what's right, give up knowing what's right for your clients, right? Give up, give up what you think you know. The online space, I love it for so many reasons because the potential is so insanely huge, right? The potential is insane. But the online space forces us to be good students, fast learners, early adapters. It forces us. It rewards those people. And let me tell you something, talk about reward and punish. The online space punishes like a spanking with a willow branch people who are slow to get the lessons. Those people, they get the crap beat out of them. Observe, notice, don't take it personally. Nobody wants what I got. Everyone scrolls. Nobody talks to me. People avoid me. Change it. Change your ways and fast. Time is not what you need. Yeah? Okay. I shall see you all soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for joining me. Bye.